Welcome, friends, to our class. You'll find this available on my Facebook and YouTube pages and also on IMCW's. As always, I want to thank you for being part of this weekly gathering. And I love that you're coming from so many places around the globe. So before introducing our two guests for the evening, I'd like to begin with a few announcements. And the first is a reminder that each week before class we have a mindful movement gathering, and after class we have discussion groups, and they start immediately after we're done. So you can find the links on tarbrock.com/class. Also a reminder that each Saturday I hold an online event for our broader community. It's called Satsang, and it's meditation and inquiry. We're looking at the questions that are most alive for you in your life. So please register and save yourself a spot for this coming Saturday. This and all my virtual offerings are on tarbrock.com. Also, I invite you to check imcw.org for live stream offerings that are made available by our local DC teachers. And this week, IMCW's affinity group meetings are women and teens of color. After listening tonight, many of you may be interested in finding out more about IMCW's Family and Children program. And so I want to invite you to go to imcw.org for that and go to the upper right corner and click on the Community tab and then click on Family and Children. As most of you know, these meditations and talks are offered freely, and your donations make a huge difference. So we appreciate $10 if you can offer that, or whatever you feel moved to donate. And links can be found in the description. Okay, and now I'm excited to introduce you to two fellow teachers and dear friends. Ofosu Jones-Quartey and Jennifer Jordan have been co-teaching our IMCW family meditation class for the last 12 years. Just think of that, 12 years. And both of them also teach for Minds Incorporated, which has brought meditation to over 10,000 youth in the Washington, D.C. area. So in addition to teaching meditation, Ofosu is a talented performing musician, and Jen is a family nurse practitioner who works in hospice, and both are parents, wonderful parents. So tonight they'll come together and share with you how these powerful trainings of heart and mind can be brought to children of all ages. And they write this, they say, as we adjust to the challenges presented by this pandemic, and as we shelter in place for the foreseeable future, both the need and benefit of integrating Buddhist practices of mindfulness and compassion into our home and family life has become more apparent. In the words of the Dalai Lama, a loving atmosphere in your home is a foundation for your life. With that, I welcome you, Ofosu and Jen. Thank you so much for joining us.
I am one of the teachers in the IMCW family program, and I have been teaching and co-teaching this program with Jennifer Jordan and Fred Percy and others for over 10 years, I think 12 or 13 years now, something like that. I live in the DC area. I live in Rockville with my 4 children and my wife. And I also am a co-teacher in the Spirit Rock family program. I have co-taught retreats at the IMS family retreats when they were being held. And I am the voice on the Balance meditation app. I also teach residential retreats for adults around the country, and I do some online work as well, and all of the above. So I'm very happy to be here, very fortunate to be here to share this time and some of what we are practicing with all of you. And I'll hand it over to Jen.
And welcome, everyone. It's so great to be with you tonight and to have this opportunity. And my name's Jen Jordan, and I'm like Ofosu, I'm one of the co-teachers of the Family Mindfulness Program at Imcw, which is Insight Meditation Community of Washington, D.C. And I live in the DC area with my 3 children and my husband and dog. And yeah, it's been a great joy to be teaching this program with Ofosu and other teachers for over a decade. The actual program's been around for 20 years. We bring the practices of mindfulness and compassion to youth and families. I also teach in schools with Minds Incorporated. We bring mindfulness and compassion practices to K through 12 schools in the DC area. I'm a mentor with the Power of Awareness course, which is Tara Brock and Jack Kornfield's online course. And I also am a hospice nurse practitioner. And so we're just really grateful to be here with you today. So I'll just give a brief overview of what we'll be talking about tonight and what we'll be doing. So we'll start our time together with a 30-minute guided meditation. And then we have a theme for tonight's talk, which is home is where the heart is. And just to say, in these uncertain times we are all living in, that idea of home and refuge takes a deeper meaning and a special place in our hearts. And when we're sheltering in place like we are now, it really offers us this opportunity to both bring these practices of mindfulness and compassion into our home life in whatever form that looks like, into our relationships, as well as to reflect on what true refuge and home looks like within us, in our hearts and minds. And I love a quote that Ofosu has shared with me from the Dalai Lama that is just a loving atmosphere in your home is the foundation for your life. So after the guided meditation, we'll also be just sharing practices we've learned during our time teaching in the family program and leading family retreats. And I just wanted to share that just distilling these mindfulness practices to their most basic level so that children, even age 5 and up, can understand and relate to them has been both an opportunity and a challenge for me. And I just want to say, whether or not you're a parent or a teacher, I hope you benefit from what's shared today. Really, when we bring things down to their basics, we come with beginner's mind and a freshness. So it really speaks to the child within all of us. The practices we share can be done both individually, or if you're with a loved one or a friend during this talk, you can actually do some of these practices together. So we're going to go right into a guided meditation. So I'm going to just share that the first half of the meditation will be with me, and then we will seamlessly move into a wonderful sound bath meditation with Ofosu, which I think you will really enjoy. So just finding a posture that supports you in both body and in mind right now. And if you wish to, you can close your eyes or you can look softly down at the floor. And just to help settle and arrive, I invite you to touch into your breath, taking 3 deeper breaths in and out. Filling your lungs with air, connecting with your body. And coming to a regular breathing pattern. And as a way to come home to this body, this heart and mind, we'll start with a body scan from the top down. starting with the eye muscles softening. The jaw relaxing. And shoulders melting. Coming down into your hands, feeling the sensations inside your hands. Vibration, tingling. Really connecting with the life that's here now in your hands. Shifting attention up to the area of the chest and the heart. And taking this next deep breath in with an open heart. And letting go on the exhale. Softening. And I invite this reflection around intention and your heart. First, you might just notice the area around your heart. That might just be the heartbeat. The space around the heart. Breathing through this area. And if you wish, you can place a hand on your heart. Just checking in. What's the state of your heart right now? Does it feel open or closed? Numb? Tender? Is it possible to be with what's there right now with kindness? Softening. You might reflect on this inquiry. Something brought you to this talk today. Something brought you here with us. Just taking a moment to notice what brought you here. What brings you to meditation and these practices of compassion and kindness? And going deeper in this new moment. We've never been here before. What is most important to you? Coming home to your heart. If your heart could speak, what would it say? What is your heart's deepest desire in this moment, in this life? Whatever comes up, images, words, colors, nothing. Can we hold it, allow it? In a field of kindness. I invite you to shift your attention now back to your breath, deepening it to contact it. Bringing attention back into your body. Feeling the points of contact with the chair or the floor if you're sitting. Feeling gravity holding you steady. Right here where you belong. Shifting awareness down into your feet. Noticing where your feet touch the earth. Sensations inside your feet. Movement. Temperature. Feeling the earth supporting you. Supporting this body, heart, and mind. If there's anything you wish to let go of in this moment, any burden you would like to release, maybe excess physical energy or emotional energy or something else, you might consider sharing it with the earth through your feet, just for now. Unburdening. The earth can hold it all. I invite you to shift attention to your whole field of awareness, sensing the space within and around you. Feeling the rise and fall of all phenomena. Breath rising and passing away. Sound. Body sensations. Arising and passing away like waves on the ocean. Feelings. Thoughts. And for these last moments, choosing one anchor for your awareness. Deep breath, sound, sensations. And we will be moving into a sound bath meditation with Ofosu.
Thank you so much, Jen. Just giving yourself permission to relax and allow the sound comes to be a metaphor for all of our experiences. Rising, staying for a moment, and then moving on. Strong and compelling at first, and becoming more and more subtle. Just relaxing as you listen. And letting go of anything that doesn't serve you in this moment as the sounds fade and change, knowing that you too can change and shift with your own compassionate and loving attention. Take a few moments, if you'd like, to put one hand over your heart and one hand over your abdomen. Imagining that your hands are bringing comfort and healing and love into your own body and into your own energy. Just taking a moment to offer some kindness to yourself. You may even use some language along with that. You might say to yourself, I care about you. I'm here for you. I love you. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be at ease. May I forgive and be forgiven. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be at ease. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be at ease. Giving yourself permission to relax. And allowing any of these sounds to resonate where it feels natural in the body, in the physical body, in the emotional body. You might think of members of your family or people who are close to you, who you care about and feel grateful for. And taking a moment just to send them some love, send them some kind wishes. And if no one can come to mind, maybe just the word others. May others be well. May others be happy. May others be peaceful. May others be at ease. May others forgive and be forgiven. May others have joy. been trying to find a new way. That's how you feel, yo. That's how I feel, yo. I've been trying hard to be strong. I've been trying hard for so long. That's how you feel, yo. That's how I feel, yo. Every day there's a new pain I've been struggling to maintain. That's how you feel, yo. That's how I feel, yo. And so I sit with my eyes closed and try to follow where my mind goes. That's how it feels, yo. That's how you feel, yo. Nothing would be the same. Discussions would be in vain. I'm just scratching the surface, trying to find my purpose. Moving at such a fast pace, coming up in that last place. Baby, I got a bad case of waking up with a sad face. But I just give it my breath though. Stay in tune with the breath, yo. I just give it my best though. Stay in tune with my breath, yo. I just give it my best though. Stay in tune with my breath, yo. I just give it my best though. And stay in tune with my breath, so as the sounds fade, you can gently begin to come back and join us.
Thank you, Ofosu. That was wonderful.
Thank you. So, I thought we could speak a little bit about, reflect a little bit on some of these practices and why they are important to us. I'm going to bring my camera closer, or I'm just going to scoot closer. So for me, as a parent, and yeah, I guess primarily as a parent, my wish was, as a parent and a practitioner, my wish was to be able to share the Dharma or teachings of wisdom and compassion with the people that I care about the most, my family. And but I wanted to do this in a way that felt sustainable. And I kind of figured out that early on that trying to get your 4-year-old to sit and meditate for a prolonged period of time wasn't going to be a fruitful endeavor. So, but but I also had this idea that, if these practices are universal and they are universally helpful, they should also be universally adaptable. And so what are the ways that we can share the practice of being present and being kind? Because I think that when we're talking about mindfulness, when we're talking about the Dharma, we're talking about basically the art of paying kind attention to each moment. How can I bring kindness and presence to this moment, and to this moment, and to this moment? And of course, we're not experts at it, but that's why we call it practice. We are practicing doing this. So I thought that it would be important to see if we can distill some of these bigger concepts into something really simple that kids and families can do, and that can be fun and that can be spontaneous. And so that's really what has brought me to this path of working with young people, working with families, and it's also been very helpful to me to take these wider and sometimes heady concepts and really, Jen used this great word, really distill them down in a way that feels simple and feels accessible. So that's been my inspiration for this work and in my own practice.
Thanks, Ofosu. Yeah, and just some personal reflections on what brought me to bringing mindfulness and compassion practices to children and youth. I think I had a mindfulness practice before I became a parent. And I think it was just this kind of, how could I articulate the benefits I've received from it and the value of it to a child? That's been actually an ongoing practice for me. And it's been a lot of fun to find ways to make it fresh and fun and playful and exciting and engaging for youth, and also for myself. And also just as more and more time I spend with youth, just really reflecting on youth as the future and how important it is that we all hold the practices of compassion, kindness, empathy very close to our hearts and share these with the next generation. Also, just from a personal reflection on how it might help me in my life, is just, I often will use Jon Kabat-Zinn's phrase he uses. I think that came from Zorba the Greek, the full catastrophe living. Like, I feel like my life is often like that, a full catastrophe. And I want to demystify that I am a parent. I continue to use these practices. We have just committed to keeping them within this family program as the foundation that we keep. When we stumble and fall, we keep coming to kindness. We keep coming to what I love, the way Ofosu describes it. What are these mindfulness and compassion practices? They're about bringing love and attention, kindness and presence. And so just falling back on that, forgiving ourselves for all our stumbles, and coming back and resetting, hitting the reset button. So it's been a great journey, and I continue on it, and we'll be sharing a bit about it with you today. So first, I'd like to just start off, and then I'll turn it over to Ofosu to just talk about why we picked this theme. Home is where the heart is. I spoke a little earlier about it, but this actually, one thing we do in our family program is we have summer retreats for families. And last summer, our family retreat, this was our theme. It means a lot to us as teachers. Home is where the heart is. And just as a reflection about when we are at home, whether it's in our physical home, what does that mean to us, or inside when we're feeling at home? It's a place of true refuge, a safe place, a place of belonging, love, acceptance. We've reflected on this together, Ofosu and I, and some of the other teachers. It's a place where we feel we can be at ease, relaxed, and happy. Yet, and we were sharing this last year at our summer retreat, our outward home and what's happening around it may not always be a safe refuge. So with mindfulness and meditation practices, we're really cultivating a reliable, steady inner home that we can always return to, the true home of our body and heart. And one thing Ofosu once said, I'll credit him, is mindfulness is the GPS that takes us back home. And so that's just a little reflection on this theme. And Ofosu, I'd love to turn it over to you to see if you have anything you'd like to share.
Yeah, this theme is a very special theme to the both of us, and in the context of offering these practices to families, you know, the Buddha talks about the difference between homeless life as a monastic and householder life as a lay person, and with the assumption that a lot of lay people are a part of a family, whether you're a child or a parent or a grandparent or a sibling or some combination of those things. And you know, as these traditions evolved, it became more and more apparent that the householder life is equally as rich of an opportunity for us to practice the art of being lovingly present, as it is for those who have become monastics or who have gone forth as it were. In some instances, it might even provide us with more opportunities to practice what it means to be loving and what it means to be kind, because there are certainly no shortage of opportunities for us to be distracted and to be unkind when we are at home. You know, a lot of kids are often on their best behavior outside and not necessarily on their best behavior at home. And we say that, oh, that's good parenting, but it doesn't mean that it's easy for parents to deal with that reality when we're at home. And, you know, all this rich emotional life of, am I doing good enough? Am I a good enough parent, a good enough child, a good enough sibling? You know, so self-compassion, needing to come up to meet all of this feeling of not being good enough, and so much not good enough comes up in the context of the householder life, and so when we think about the idea of home, it's even deeper than the physical space that you occupy, but it's really, as Jen said eloquently, the true refuge of your own heart, your own body, and your own mind, when they are in a loving and present way. You know, you can be a refuge for yourself when you are in loving presence, and you can definitely be a refuge for the people you care about when you're practicing loving presence. So yeah, those are just some reflections on the theme from my perspective, and yeah, I think maybe we'll go into a mindful moment now. I thought that, so throughout this, we're going to share some of what we do in our own family program, and one of which are these mindful moments that we have. And this is kind of even a model for how we have been trying to do this in our own families, you know, just to pause, to hit the pause button for a moment, and to invite a short moment of mindfulness. So I'll pass it to Jen, and we'll do something like that now.
Yes. So in our family program, we've come to call, so we need, you know, in order to remember, you know, to return home to our heart, return home to this body, we practice. That's what meditation is. And so meditation is the opportunity to practice and kind of hone those skills. So we call it mindful moments in our program. And we just start with a mindful moment with getting into our mindful bodies. Something we'll talk about in our classes with kids and adults. And so when we define a mindful body, we're just saying a still, quiet body. And we might even pretend we have a zipper going all the way up the front of our body to help us with our postures. So we zip ourselves up, zip, 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 and then relax. It's alert and relaxed. And I am going to bring in one of our props when we're working with kids. It's fun to have props, things to look at, things to engage with. So this is my little mind jar. And so right now it's just glue, glitter, and water. But if you look at it right now, it's pretty clear. And this is just representing our mind when it's settled and feels clear and open. And often things happen daily that are going to shake us up a little bit. Maybe we get overexcited or angry or scared, and our mind is a little settled, it's getting shaken up, and this is our reminder. So we're just going to leave this here for the mindful moment. So first, sometimes we'll do a little movement before we do our mindful moment to let out some energy. So this is really just a tension relaxation exercise called lemonade squeeze, or you can call it apple press or something else. But the idea is you're going to become a lemonade machine, and you are going to squeeze out as much lemonade as you can by tensing up your whole body, and then you're going to shake it out. So I'm going to count to 3, and I'm going to ask you to 1, 2, 3, tighten all your muscles from your toes up to your scalp and your fists. Deep breath in, facial muscles scrunching, tummy, legs, more, 5, 4, deep breath, 3, 2, 1, and shake out that lemonade. Shake it out, shake it out. All right. One more? Okay, one more. Okay, this time will be an apple press. Okay, apple press, you are going to make the best apple cider ever. You are going to take a deep breath in, 3, 2, 1, and squeeze and scrunch and tighten. Deep breath in, deep, deep. Toes, feet, hands, everywhere tight. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and apple cider. Yum. And if you want, you can shake it. And I'm going to do one shark breath and turn it over to Ofosu. Shark breath, shark fin. If the temperature is rising, you need to cool down. Deep breath in. Exhale, shark breath. Longer exhale. And on to Ofosu.
Yeah. We try to incorporate the body and the breath with a lot of our mindful moments. And one of our favorite exercises is what I call elevator breathing. It's kind of a take on a Qigong practice, and we might even get into some of those. But elevator breathing is really, really easy. You can put your hands either just up like this or on your knees or your thighs. And as you breathe in, your elevator goes up. And as you breathe out, the elevator goes down. So breathing in, elevator goes up. And breathing out, elevator comes down. So this can be a great exercise for relaxation. Breathing in, elevator goes up. Breathing out, elevator comes down. We can also make this an exercise to boost energy. So breathing in fast, our elevator goes up. Breathe in fast and breathe out fast. Breathing in, and this can also be a great exercise for attentiveness. So breathing in fast, breathing out slow. Breathing in slow. Breathe out fast. So elevator breathing is a great way to have a mindful moment. You might, if you're wanting to ease into your day sort of gently, you might do a slower one. Or if you're in the middle of the day and you're kind of feeling like you're burning out a little bit, you can do a quicker one. And this is something that you can just do spontaneously with your family, loved ones, little ones, friends at any time. So yeah. So I think when we are talking about mindfulness and these types of practices, again, we're talking about these two words that I think have come to define the practice for myself and for Jen, is kindness and attention. And I always talk about, when I used to work in the corporate world, we would, whenever there was like an urgent email, you'd send the email and you say your kind attention to this matter is greatly appreciated, and that was like code for get this done now. But those two words, kind attention, they're so powerful, and that's what we are really trying to do when we're practicing mindfulness. Is to ask the question, what would it be like? What would it feel like if I could bring some kindness and some attentiveness to this moment right now, to my body right now, to my emotions right now? If I'm having a hard time, instead of beating myself up about it, what could I do? What would it look like? What would it feel like to bring some kind attention to this difficult moment? Or if I'm having a fantastic time, what would it look like to bring kind attention to a fantastic moment? What does it look like to bring kind attention to boredom? What does it look like to bring kind attention to eating? To disagreements, to every aspect of our existence. And when we phrase it like that, when we distill the concept of mindfulness into these two wings of kindness and attention, I think it becomes something easier for young people and not so young people and adults to grasp. So yeah, I just wanted to share a couple thoughts on kindness and attention.
Wonderful, thanks, Ofosu. It's making me also think about, so I'm going to take a look at our wine jar, and it's looking pretty clear, settled mind there. And one thing I sometimes share with kids and adults is this idea of creating space. And just, creating space between the stimulus that's happening in our life and the response to it. There's that quote, between stimulus and response, there is a space, and in that space lies our power and our freedom. And really, that's really about what we're doing. And just to say with kids, it can really help to see things like that. Just to add, when we're really talking about what is mindfulness, at least, and how do we describe this to both adults and kids and ourselves? Another way is just turning down the noise, hitting the pause button, cooling our engines, taking a time in, being our own boss. We can't always control, like we said, everything around us, but we can look at our response to it. So why bother meditating? Well, one thing we say is, like I said earlier, is we're practicing. We're practicing being able to create space when we need that space to respond more skillfully. And I want to just share one thing that I share with kids. I didn't create it. I know it's done by a lot of people. It's this hand model of the brain. So we talk about the neuroscience, why mindfulness. And Dan Siegel is a neuroscientist who came up with this, talking about the fight, flight, or freeze response that we habitually go into, and sometimes in overdrive. So imagine this is your brain. This here is your amygdala, the ancient part of your brain that we call the security guard, that protects you, that will put you into fight, flight, or freeze mode, sometimes appropriately and sometimes inappropriately. And then put your lid on. This is your boss. This would be the prefrontal cortex. We call it the boss. And then we have back in the stem of the brain, the hippocampus, or the librarian that keeps our memory. So the idea is when we go into fight, flight, or freeze, maybe somebody sends us a mean text, or maybe somebody gives us a funny look, we flip our lid, go into fight, flight, or freeze, and lose. When we do that, they show in neuroscience, they'll show you this on MRI studies, the part of the brain that has the executive functioning, higher reasoning, and the memory goes dark as the amygdala lights up. And so to get access to our higher reasoning that can help us with decision making and make better choices, and our memory, we need to put our lids back on, which is what mindfulness and meditation can help with. Neuroscience for 30 years has shown the benefits, particularly even for youth, of better focus, attention, and executive function when practicing regularly mindfulness. Better emotional regulation, increased empathy, decreased stress. So there's lots of benefits on why we might do this. So we're going to do what we in our family program will refer to as like a family connecting activity or a family check-in. This can be done, again, like Ofosu said, with a friend, a loved one, or just checking in with yourself. So we usually have a theme on the check-in, and today's theme is going to be gratitude. Simply 3 things you're grateful for. If you're right now with others, friends or family, you could actually, one person could be the speaker, one person be the listener. And it's a great opportunity to really practice mindful listening and speaking, noticing what's arising in your body and mind while both speaking and listening, giving our full attention to another. And if you're alone, we're going to give our full attention right here to our own heart and mind. So first, just pausing. If you want, you can close your eyes and take a few deep breaths to settle in. And just bringing to mind 3 things that you are grateful for. It could be as fundamental as being grateful for this breath, this body. Could be feeling grateful for things or people or experiences. Just bringing that to mind. And when you do bring these things to mind, noticing how it feels in your body. Is there a place where you feel something? We're bringing our attention to noticing what it feels like when we're grateful. Can be very powerful. You might notice colors, sounds, images, allowing those to be there. And if you are with others, I invite you to take time to share those either now or later, what it is you're grateful for. Gratitude is a great way to come home to this present moment and to our hearts and minds and bring kindness.
There's something so special about that practice. I mean, there's never a moment, there's never been a time when a gratitude reflection has not worked to bring me into a more peaceful and present place, even if I'm already feeling good, just to reflect. I can remember being in the kids' playroom and I was already feeling stressed out, and walking into the mess of the playroom just made me way more stressed. And I could just feel my whole body tensing up and feeling guilty about how stressed I was feeling, and I could feel it in my head. And then I started to think, I started to do a gratitude practice, and I started really, really small. I was grateful for my pinky toe. Like, I'm just grateful that I've got a pinky toe. And I'm grateful that I've got this other toe and this other toe. And I'm grateful that I've got a right foot. I'm grateful that I have a left foot, that I have legs, that these kids even have a playroom to mess up. And it just kept on going. And then it didn't completely take me out of my funk, but it brought me way back from the edge of the kind of collapse I was having in that moment. And this moment was that you just offered was so sweet. So thank you, Jen. Appreciate it. Yeah.
And if I could just add, because you've really, that I've also used this gratitude practice. It helps me in those moments where I might react in a way, and I still do like at times, but when I remember to come back to gratitude, it like lowers my temperature, and it can do that in just 5 seconds to come back to this moment and remember the preciousness of this life we're living.
If there's one mindful moment that I do with my kids all the time, it's super easy. 3 things you're grateful for right now? It's always family, food, and friends, basically. But I know that it has to be it brings you right to the moment, and it evokes this peacefulness, this kindness, and so that's what we're talking about. Another simple sort of body breath exercise that I like to do is something called flower breathing. Again, hands can be up here or on your lap, and you begin in a fist, and breathing in, your flower opens, and breathing out, your flower closes. So we can do a few of those together. Breathing in, sun rises and our flower opens. Breathing out, sun sets, our flower closes. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. And maybe for the next few breaths, you can practice this on your own, just in your own rhythm. This is something that can be done at the end of the day, right before bed, or in the beginning of the day, or just in the middle of the day. Hey, let's just do 3 flower breaths. Yeah. So yeah, that's another simple practice.
So we thought we would both share some reflections on what it means to bring mindfulness and meditation and compassion practices home. At least I can only speak for my own experience. And I will first say that in the broad stroke of things, and I think every relationship is unique and every family is a little unique. And in that sense, in my family, we're not sitting around in my family meditating.
Same.
But I really see it as these practices, I share them with my family and I normalize them in this family program as we bring community together that shows the value of these practices in community. That's very powerful, to bring our best selves forward together in community, knowing that we can make mistakes and fall and hold each other and hold ourselves with kindness. So that field of connectivity and community is really powerful, I think, in a greater sense with my family. And I also just want to say in my family, it's a lot about putting my own oxygen mask on first, like you do on planes, and then putting on the oxygen mask for those that depend upon you. So, really showing my commitment to the practices with my family, and then to the best of my ability, being a role model. And the only other thing I'd say is we decided to start holding family retreats that are like now about 4 or 5 days long, out in the country in the summertime. And it's been really fascinating and beautiful to watch that time together for all that attend, and just that sense of being seen and accepted for who you are, even just during this period of days, both within your family, being seen and accepted for who you are, and in community and in nature and connecting to the earth. And that's my last thing I'm going to say right now, is just interconnectedness and our connections with each other, with the earth, with all life, and with all beings is a real foundation of our family program.
Yeah, absolutely. I love what you said about the being a part of the family program, the family mindfulness program, this community does normalize these practices for our kids and for our families. So I remember the first time going to the IMS family retreat where I was co-teaching and bringing my kids, and I could see in their faces like, oh my gosh, we're not just this weird family, like other families, think this is important as well. So that was really sweet. And I think that our program does offer that space where people can feel, where especially young people and parents can all feel that we're in this together. We're in this journey of trying to be more kind and more present for ourselves and each other, and to instill these values in our families, that we're not alone. And that's the power of community, the power of Sangha. And to be a family Sangha is really powerful. We really emphasize keeping these practices short and fun and simple and engaging to lay a foundation for lifelong practitioners, right? So we don't want to treat our kids or as if they were, super meditators in training, and we don't want to necessarily turn our homes into, Zen monasteries. We want to be able to show up messy, but be messy in a kind way. I don't mean messy in terms of like clothes everywhere, but that's also life. But I mean messy in terms of family life is messy. There's so many emotions, so many issues, and to bring kind presence, loving awareness, kind attention to the messiness of family life is a great practice. And so we're trying to, whatever you can do to make it short, simple, fun, engaging, just to lay the foundation so that it can become a lifelong practice or really a lifelong refuge. I have a kid who is about to go to college, who's been a part of the family program her entire life. And she's been a part of teen programs now, teen sanghas, and been on teen retreats, and has been a teen mindful leader. And I know without a doubt that as she goes forward in life, this foundation that's been laid for her is something that she's going to be able to come back to. And that's very rewarding, and it gives me a sense of comfort as a parent that we've been able to share these things with our kids. So yeah. Keep the expectations low and keep the practices short and fun. That's my advice. Yeah.
And if it's okay to segue a little or to add to that.
Yeah.
It's like you said, having it be fun, there's got to be a carrot that they eat, and especially with kids, there's got to be some carrot. So keeping it fun, letting ourselves be messy and accepting that messiness. And just a reminder that we're planting seeds. Like Ofosu said, we're planting seeds, and knowing that we can share this with youth. We're planting seeds either in ourselves or with the youth or the children in our lives, and they will use it, or the harvest will come. That's not under our control, but we can still plant the seeds of kindness and awareness. And yeah, so that's part of this family program, and it's been a joy to be part of that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so one of the things that we do in our family program is we also sing and share songs and chants, and I thought this would be a cool moment in our. I'm also a musician and a vocalist and stuff, so I thought I would share one of the songs that we sing, that we have been singing with the family program, and it's called "Feet on the Ground," and it's also like a mindfulness formula of like body, breath, sound, awareness, and kind attention. So the song goes, feet on the ground, 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 air in my lungs, 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 sounds all around, around, around. I am enough, enough, enough. Feet on the ground, 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 air in my lungs, 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 sounds all around, around, around. I am enough, enough, enough. Feet on the ground, 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 air in my lungs, 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 sounds all around, around, around. I am enough, enough, enough. Feet on the ground, 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 air in my lungs, 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 sounds all around, around, around. I am enough, enough, enough. Yeah.
Kids love that song. Made up by Ofosu. I use it in schools, and Thank you, Ofosu.
Yeah, and I love that you added those hand movements to it as well. Yeah, that's so awesome. And there are songs from the sort of universal Dharma songbook that we use. There are some songs from Thich Nhat Hanh that we use, and that from other practitioners that have been passed down through the years. So yeah. Do you want to do another mindful moment? Yeah.
That would be great. So again, these mindful moments, we're just sharing some things we do with youth and parents and adults. And I have had a number of adults tell me who are either new or seasoned mindfulness practitioners say they really enjoy learning these. So I hope it serves you. So we have a couple different ways to make sound. And we have found that youth, as well as myself, sound as an anchor can be a really great settling, a way to bring our attention. And so I'm going to start with the sound of the bell as a mindful moment. So again, zippering up your body, coming into mindful posture in your mindful body. And if you want, you can close your eyes or look softly down. And just bring your attention right now to the sound of the bell. And when you can't hear the sound anymore, raise your hand. It's a little harder on Zoom, but nice to have sound. So just using sound, the sounds around you. I'd like to go into an activity we sometimes do called the sense scavenger hunt. You can actually find this online, the sense scavenger hunt. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, sense scavenger hunt. So just again, while you're in your mindful body, taking a deep breath in and out, and this time just softly leaving your eyes open and using your senses to come into the present moment, to come back home to this body and mind, finding 5 things you see around you. And you can count down 5 things you see. Four things you touch. So you could touch 4 things. Three things you hear, putting your mindful ears on. Two things you smell. And 1 thing you taste. Now, but just a way, again, when we need to cool our engines, or we want to settle down, or we want to get back in the flow, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, sense scavenger hunt. 5 things you see, touch, hear, smell, taste. It's a way to come back into body and mind. 1 little activity.
Yeah. So in our family class, we're always thinking about ways to create connections, moments of connection with families, and anybody who has worked with young kids or is a caretaker or a parent knows how precious even just short amounts of connecting time are. And one of those precious moments is in reading books to your loved ones. So I I can now add the title author to my array of things. I just wrote and self-published a children's book called You Are Enough. And the foreword is by my dear friend Gil Fronsdale, and it includes endorsements from Tara Brock and from La Sarmiento. So thank you all for supporting the book. And I thought that we could share it here. It's really a poem that I wrote for everybody, and we've shared it in the family class for years and years, and finally turned it into a book with illustrations from my sister Allison Hamilton. So I'm just going to recite this from memory, and you can follow along. There's something I want to tell you, and I say these words with love. The thing I want to tell you is that you are enough. I think that you are perfect and made of awesome stuff. For all the things you're made of, I know you are enough. Did you know that you are made of stars and earth and fire, wind and dust, oceans and things soft and rough? Because of this, you are enough. Sometimes life won't go your way, and sometimes things get tough. Bad days, they will come and go, but you are enough. You are enough to change the world and make your dreams come true. Anything is possible. That's because you are you. For all the things to know and learn, there's one that is a must. To love yourself for who you are, because you are enough.
I never tire of that. It's so beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah. As we did during the sound bath, if you'd like, you can put one hand over your heart. Oh, we'll zip up and put our mindful body on. I always love that. Yeah. Yeah, we used to say, well, we also still talk about being a watered flower, but there's something very just on point about the zip up that I love that you introduced, Jen. The zip up is great. So yes, and you know, when you put a hand over your heart and your abdomen, you are stimulating your body's relaxation response. For most people, this immediately puts us in a space where we feel more protected and more at ease. I like to kind of put one hand like all the way over, so that my forearm is all the way over my stomach, almost like I'm giving myself a hug, and just lay my other arm over top so I can really kind of feel secure. And just take a moment and see, you might even feel your heart beating. And that's accessible for some people, and some people not so much. But for most of us, we can feel the gentle rising and falling of our breathing. And just taking a moment to just notice your heart beating and your body breathing. It's always a good reminder that nature is what makes the heart beat and what makes the body breathe. These are things that the body does that you don't have much control over most of the time. We can take control over our breathing, and we can breathe in such a way that it affects our heart rate, but most of the time we're breathing and our heart is beating just on their own. And it's really nature's way of saying that you belong here and that you're welcome here in this life, and that there's more moments to be had, moments where you can bring kindness and attention to. So just send yourself a little bit of kindness and give yourself a little bit of loving attention. If it doesn't feel easy to do that, it's okay. Just asking yourself the question, if I could bring some love and attention to this moment, to this body, to my life right now, what would that feel like? What could that feel like? Just invite the possibility. And I'll close this mindful moment with a song that has been sung in many family meditation retreats, family mindfulness retreats that I've been a part of. And it's just a loving kindness song that begins with I and repeats with you and ends with we. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be happy.
Thank you, Ofosu. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. And I just want to direct you to the final slide, which is going to take you to our webpage, the IMCW Family Program. You can also just Google that. The good news is normally we're holding our classes and all our events locally, but now that, during COVID, so much is online, you can join our family and parent classes virtually. We hold family classes the second Sunday of every month, parent classes the fourth Monday evening of every month, Eastern Standard Time. We'll be having a workshop for parenting during the pandemic at the end of September with Ofosu and others. We have teen self-care workshops at the end of September. And on October 4th, we're holding our Fall Family Day, where we come together and do practices together for a portion of a Sunday. And I also want to let you know about a See Me community gathering, October 31st. We're really committed to diversity, inclusion, and equity. And this is a multiracial gathering to connect with each other through mindfulness. So look to the IMCW website to find more about the See Me community gathering. There's a number of families that will be part of that in October 31st. Thanks everyone for joining. I hope it's been a nice time for you and you've learned some things, and we hope to see you again. Take good care.
Bye everybody. Thank you so much. And Jen, I love teaching with you. I appreciate you.
I love you. I appreciate you. This is such a blessing to be having this time together over all this decade.
Love you, my sister. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Tara, for the opportunity. And thanks to everybody thanks to Leo. Thanks to everybody who puts this together. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Tara and Leo and Christy and others. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye. Peace.
Peace.